It's so wonderful to see everybody here today. I'm so grateful for everybody that could make it out, especially after the cold weather that we had the last couple of days. And I want to say I will do my best to try to keep to the time. I was reviewing my last two sermons and have a tendency to go over time, but I think I finally understand a little bit how Father could speak for hours and hours and hours, right? Just this desperation in my heart to share with all of you all of the things that I've been learning myself. But I will try to keep it shorter this time. So earlier this week, I had the privilege of attending the International Religious Summit, which was a conference on religious freedom down in Washington, D.C. And not organized by any of our affiliates, I should say, although we represented there to show up, really to raise awareness about the persecution happening in Japan against our movement. But being there at this conference just brought right to front and center so many of the issues that are going on. I mean, the atrocities happening in Pakistan, in India, the situation with the Uyghurs, people who are dying because of their beliefs, because of what connects them in their spiritual practice. And though our members were, our situation is not quite that dire yet, the slippery slope towards dehumanization has started. And it's imperative for us to raise awareness around that. There's a growing body of research that shows that language that displays contempt is part of the beginning process towards dehumanization, which is when people can act out in violence against others, when people can take out things that happen. But it just really being there got me thinking so much about the hurt and the pain that we inflict on others because of the pain and disconnectedness that we feel within ourselves. The writer Arthur C. Brooks once wrote, "Contempt makes political compromise and progress impossible. It also makes us unhappy as people. According to the American Psychological Association, the feeling of rejection, so often experienced after being treated with contempt, increases anxiety, depression, and sadness. It also damages the contemptuous person by stimulating two stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline. In ways both public and personal, contempt causes us deep harm." And so seeing all of this division and hate in the world at this conference, it really got me thinking about how do we come together? How do we bring connectedness back? How do I see people as human again? And I was reminded of a scripture that was shared with me by a colleague. 1 Corinthians 12:14-26. It starts out, "Even so the body is not made up of one part but many. Now if the foot should say, 'Because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body,' it would not for that reason stop being part of the body. And if the ear should say, 'Because I'm not an eye, I do not belong to the body,' it would not for that reason stop being part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the sense of hearing be? If the whole body were an ear, where would the sense of smell be? But in fact, God has placed the parts in the body, every one of them, just as he wanted them to be. If they were all one part, where would the body be? As it is, there are many parts, but one body. It's a very long, passage, but moving to the bottom, to the point that really comes out the most. If one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part is honored, every part rejoices with it. So how do we connect, grow empathy? How do we find the love? Today, I'm going to be talking with you about the source of love. So, I'd like to share with you all about my spiritual journey. I guess this is kind of my spiritual awakening moment. It's the anchor point and the very thing that led me to here. And for those of you who've already heard this a few times, please bear with me. So about 3 years ago now, my sister was diagnosed with breast cancer. And seeing her go through that journey of wrestling with the fact that she could die really caused me to also take moments to self-reflect on what does that mean. This 34-year-old woman was diagnosed with something that could potentially end her life. What does that mean for me? If my sister could die, I could die. What if I get hit by a bus? What if we don't know what could happen? And in those months, my grandmother also passed away, a really strong woman that I admire and deeply respect and love. And so I was thinking about, what does it mean to die? What must it feel like to feel your body at the end of your life slowly starting to shut down? And it was late at night. I was lying awake next to my husband. My husband was asleep next to me. And here I am. I'm contemplating death and what that must be like. And it is terrifying. And I had to challenge myself. Do I actually believe in spirit world the way that we talk about it all the time? Honestly, I'm not sure. In that moment, I couldn't say confidently that I know that spirit world is these different levels and all these things and how we just freely talk about it. And why? Because I thought, well, the way we talk about it kind of assumes that my thoughts are my spirit, not my thoughts go on forever. But actually, your thoughts are connected to your brain, which is a physical organ, right? So when that organ shuts down, your thoughts will stop. And to imagine that, like, to stop being. It was so scary. It felt like looking into a black abyss of nothingness. And I started crying. But then in that moment, and I don't know why I remembered this, I guess thank you science class in high school, but the first law of thermodynamics came to mind, and which is, does anyone know? Energy, that's right, energy cannot be created or destroyed. And I thought, yes, that resonates very deeply as true for me. I truly believe that everything has an energy, everything. Laptop, anyone who's done Marie Kondo, right? you gather your books and you tap the books to wake the spirit up a little bit. Everything has an energy, and I really feel that. And that, in that moment, I thought, yes, I don't know what my spirit feels like, but I have a spirit, the essence of myself. And when I die, that essence will go back into the essence of the universe. And in that way, we are all deeply connected. We truly are one family. Not just family with people, but with this world, this creation that we live in. And I felt, this is deeply true for me. And maybe I'm Buddhist. But then, thinking on that, I felt, oh my God, my life will end. And I don't know when it's going to happen. And how truly precious is every moment that we have. Every single moment that we are alive and breathing, how incredible is that? This moment, right here, right now, sitting in the pews or manning the cameras, everybody tuning in from home, on YouTube. This moment right here, right now, will never happen again. Never happen again. You can recreate the moment, right? We come back each Sunday, we listen to things. You can recreate it, but this moment will never happen again. What a gift our life is. And as I thought on that, I realized it's not just my life. How precious and incredible, how valuable is my life? And then I realized, not just my life, but me. How precious am I? All of these things that I struggle with about myself, that I doubt about myself, that I don't like about myself, all of these things actually are exactly how God made me in the special puzzle piece that I am, to represent Him in the only way that I, as His creation, can represent that piece of God. This unique combination that we all call Nancy Jubb, this unique combination that we call Barry Geller, or Atsushi Takino, or Dr. Jung, or Carol Pobans, or each and every single one of you are created exactly as you are on purpose, because only you can represent that piece of God the way that He made you. And I felt so overwhelmed with gratitude at knowing this, how valuable I am, even though I don't feel that all the time. And it made me realize how valuable each and every person is. Not that I'm special or different or anything, but that each of us carries that divine value that God bestowed upon us. And so life is finite. What does it mean to live a life? To be remembered. The people who pass away, who leave us. When each of us dies, there will never be another me. There will be others who will be similar, but never the same. So what does it mean to live our life? What is the point? It's not to be somehow we feel like we have to leave some kind of legacy to be remembered, but it's not even that. It's not even to be remembered, because even those who will remember you will pass on also, right? So what is the point? The remembrance is a result. It's not like your purpose. The purpose is to feel every emotion and experience that life has to offer the way God created us to accept and welcome the joys and pains, and that all of those things that we experience connect us to one another. That is love. That is a life without regret.